welcome to the Tournament Center. I'm Rashad Miller. That's Zach Hill. We're going to be watching Mike Sigrist's draft. We're going to take a look at the table here. And if you notice, we just watched Yuya Watanabe draft. So if you didn't get a chance to see that, make sure you watch that video. And he is right next to Mike Sigrist, passing some cards, starting for Pack 1 and Pack 3. So let's get this thing going and see how this draft goes. There you go. Get a good look at Mike Sigrist right there.
Yeah,
what do you think of those glasses?
I mean, I'm a big fan of a good pair of glasses. The thing that's interesting to me, having watched Yuya, seeing what Yuya passed to Sigrist, it's kind of an opportunity to see him react to Yuya's own choices.
Exactly.
So this is going to be interesting. There are a lot of cards in the pack that Yuya passed that are later than you would have expected. So the question is if Sigrist is going to be able to actually use those.
All right, so here we go. Pick one from Pack 1.
See,
It's got a murderous cut to the top already.
Yeah, I mean, Murderous Cut's incredible. I see a Trail of Mystery. I never pass a Trail of Mystery.
I know you can't get off that card.
I would be on that, but yeah, I mean, Murderous
Kill shot,
Cut,
force away.
And that's the thing, is that you've got these other removal spells that Cut's just kind of a better version of.
Yeah.
So I think that, you know, Cut, if that's what you're on, is a pretty clear pick.
He also has a Mardu Skull Hunter up to the top.
And that might be what he's expecting to table.
Okay.
If he can do that. I mean, expecting is kind of a bold assertion, but hoping might be a little more accurate.
And he does go with the Murderous Cut, so a pretty solid, well, I guess one of the better removal spells in this format. Good way to start off the draft.
I mean, it very much might be like the best uncommon in the format. I mean, it's incredibly efficient. It kills everything. You use it both offensively and defensively.
All right, ooh, got past the Icy Blast. That's a sweet one. It has a Treasure Cruise, and he's also looking at a Dismal Backwater.
Yeah,
I don't know if you have any background from Mike Sigrist, but is he a 5-color draft fixing kind of guy?
When I was talking to him earlier, he just kind of said he liked to draft what came to him. Obviously, Icy Blast, a phenomenal card. A little bit harder to use in the 5-color control deck, just because a lot of the time you don't have that many permanents. I think Master the Way is another really appealing card if you're looking to go 5-color, but it looks like Icy Blast, you just the most raw, powerful card in the pack.
Yeah, and it's very early in this draft, so he has a lot of leeway as to how he can set up that Icy Blast with the rest of his picks.
I recommend having a 4-power creature on the battlefield.
That makes it a lot better. All right, so let's see what we got here. We got a Kentree Warden, probably not going to be the pick. A Jeskai Wind Scouts, got a Bitter Revelation pulled to the top along with a Kill Shot.
Yeah, we saw Reed Duke really prioritizing those Bitter Revelations. I mean, it's incredible card advantage and card selection. I like Wind Scout to go with the Icy Blast. Kill Shot, obviously a solid removal spell, good in a format with all these morphs. I think, you know, Quiet Contemplation is a card that you can move in on.
Yeah.
But it might be a little bit early. You want to get that in the middle of the pack after you've taken some quality removal spells.
I haven't seen the Quiet Contemplation deck yet, but that would be a great to see, but we're not going to see here because the Wind Scout was the pick there. And we are looking at a couple of, well, we're looking at the Dismal Backwater and a Abomination of Gadul, but that one went to the back. And that is a dutiful bounty?
That's a dutiful return, I think. Yeah, you know, raised at 2 things.
Yeah.
But I mean, when you're in blue and black, I think Dismal Backwater is exactly what you're going for. I mean, mana fixing so important in this format. Not only fixes your current colors, but makes it easier to draft something in another color that you can splash.
Right, and the life gain is pretty nice too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So around 3rd, 4th pick, that's a good spot to take those cards.
I think so. I mean, I love to just start taking lands. Winter Flame, while in the pack, has signaled that that color combination might be open.
Yeah, Winter Flame's a wonderful card. He's also looking at a Skull Teller, a Smoke Teller.
Yeah.
And and an Arrow Storm. So red might be wide open. Winter Flame puts him in Grixis. Is that where you really want to be in this format?
You know, I mean, I think blue-red is a lot easier to go than Grixis, but I think it is pretty easy to play, you know, those 3 colors, especially if you're not taking cards like Arrow Storm that commit you to, you know, deep into red. So I think Winter Flame only costing a single red's a little bit easier to cast.
Yeah, some more red signals. There's a Bringlow down in this pack.
Yeah.
Also looking at a Force Away and Rugged Prairie, Rugged Highland, if he's looking at some more fixing, maybe splashing the green.
You see a Goblin Slide that would go great into that Quiet Contemplation deck. Force Away, though, the best blue common, really excellent, kind of exactly what he wants to be doing. I think that's the clear pick there. Bring Low, a piece of hard removal, but it's really hard to trade up, to trade with a creature that's more expensive or even equivalently costed. Usually you're trading with 3 mana things or less, so less good than it might seem otherwise. I love taking the land here. I mean, if your plan is to go Grixis, which is basically, you know, blue-red splash removal.
Do you think that's a plan?
Exactly what you're doing.
Is that
Yeah.
something you can really do?
Well, I know blue-red spells is an archetype. Kind of that's what the enemy color pair is supposed to do. And then a lot of your other really good spells are, of course, removal, which is pretty abundant in black. So it's
another
definitely-
dismal backwater here for Mike Sigrist. And there's a Whirlwind Adept, probably not the pick.
Yeah, a Freed Weapon Master, probably the most powerful raw card. I don't hate that pick there either, but I think he's trying to capitalize on access to his Murderous Cut, and Backwater helps him do that. Also, you know, we saw Bitter Revelation in the pack. That's exactly the kind of card that you want in your deck if your plan is to draft a lot of removal spells and bury your opponent in raw card advantage.
All right, so we have another mana fixing. Looks like we're going to take a Rugged Highland. So maybe 4 colors, you think?
Well, and that can also set him up for Teamer. I mean, I think that, you know, he's not heavily committed to red either. We see, wow, a late Master the Way that's going to represent a commitment to red. So what you can do is go base blue-red,
right,
and then just splash good cards in every color. You've got access to Jeskai, you've got access to Teamer, and you've got access to just powerful, solid blue cards. So it seems like he's very solidly in blue-red now with access to anything else he wants to play.
Yeah, not a lot going on in that pack. There was a Kin Tree Warden that went to the pile, and looks like a Bloodfire Mentor is going to be added, which might actually make the cut.
Yeah, I love Bloodfire Mentor in this archetype. It plays defense early, and it allows you to get past your excess lands in order to get some of those powerful late-game spells like Master the Way. So I think Mentor actually very good in this archetype.
All right, so Sidisi's Pet gets added to the pile, and a last pick equipment for Mike Sigrist, the Heart Piercer Bow.
So yeah, I mean, this is an unconventional archetype for sure, and that, you know, you might think Grixis, okay, is this Shards of Alar or is this Khans of Tarkir? But I think, you know, basically he's base blue-red with a lot of powerful spells, some good removal, Icy Blast that he needs some 4-power creatures to really take advantage of. And, you know, Sidisi's Pet, not a phenomenally powerful card, but you can certainly play it as a morph and just, you know, I mean, it's a fine creature.
Now, what kind of cards is Mike looking to open in Pack 2? What kind of red does he want? What colors does he really want it to be?
Yeah, I mean, that's a phenomenal question. I'd like to get as many Masters away as possible. I think that's an uncommon that's really good for him right here. Again, I mean, I would have wanted access to those Quiet Contemplations and Goblin Slides in this spell archetype.
Okay.
I think something like Surrak Dragonclaw would be perfect. He needs a late game finisher, and he's got the already some green mana fixing.
All right, well, so the rare is Rakshasa, Death Dealer.
Yeah, we see Abomination of Gadul, another card he could theoretically play with both green and blue mana fixing.
Now, Mike also has some, he has the green mana fixing to go along with this. He has the Rugged Highlands. I think he has a couple of those.
Right, exactly. So that's something he could theoretically do. I like Sultai Scavenger there.
As far as power level goes, it's all at the front of the pack right here. It's all you know, green, black base cards and a little bit of Sultai.
I mean, it's definitely very hard to pass Rakshasa Death Dealer. That card is unbelievable.
And he couldn't do it. He did not know how to pass that card. I don't think I'd know how to do it either.
I mean, the challenge is we've seen black. You know, he's got a lot of black fixing. I think intuitively, both black and green would be some of his minor colors, so it's hard to get both of those for the Death Dealer. But it's early in the pack, so definitely not too late to switch your priorities.
Well,
wow.
Speaking of black and green, we got a Death Drop, we got a Hooten Mandrills, we have a Throttle, Sultai Scavenger. Looks like, well, at least in this second pick of Pack 2, Sultai's pretty open.
Yeah, I mean, in black specifically, very open. And again, we're talking about Grixis, a blue-red black deck. The exact type of cards you want for that are cards like Dead Drop and Throttle, that you don't care about any synergy that you're accumulating. They're just cards that are good in Magic in any format. I mean, killing 2 of your opponent's creatures, you're going to play that no matter what, and that 10 mana cost.
It doesn't cost 10.
Doesn't cost 10. And it's
Never costs
easier. 10. Right, and it's easier when you have a lot of blue and red spells that load up your graveyard.
Right, and it's very easy when it's the only delve card that you have.
That's exactly right.
All right, so now we're looking at a Sultai Soothsayer, so that helps with the delve mechanic. It's also got a Swiftwater Cliffs up to the top, but he goes with the Soothsayer.
And Soothsayer, really one of the best uncommons the entire format for a control archetype. It shores up the ground, it gains card advantage, and it fuels delve. That means, though, that he really is just solidly on a 5-color plan at this point. There's no base color splash a couple of other colors.
Right. He hasn't had any white. He hasn't picked any white cards yet.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, when I say 5, he's solidly 4-color, but a lot of the time what happens is your base, one opposing color combination, splashing cards of other colors, but he's got deep both blue-red and black-green commitments.
All right, so another bitter revelation goes to the top, and some red cards.
Is that a Kiru Lich Lord?
It is a Kiru Lich Lord.
See Aerostorm, Bitter Revelation. I like Bitter Revelation here. Raw card advantage, just very important in a control deck.
What do you think about the Kiru?
I just don't really like that card.
Not good enough? It hits the air.
I mean, it's just, paying 6 mana for a 4/4 is just not really what I want to be in this format unless my 4/4 has Morph.
All right, so we have a Snowhorn Rider. Oh, he snap picks that.
Wow, yeah. I would have definitely.
Didn't see that one coming.
Me neither. I would have been looking at the Crippling Chill because I think the cantrip effects are really important, being able to get some velocity and look at more cards in your deck because you need a lot of lands and a lot of spells.
So what's going through his head? Why did he pick that card so fast?
I think what he needs is a finisher. I mean, we've seen a lot of really powerful spells, removal, etc. in his format. Doesn't really have that many ways to end the game right now. I mean, Death Dealer, he's got to sink a lot of mana into. The Soothsayer, a powerful card, is not exactly ending the game. So I think he wants a finisher to be able to close out.
All right, so now he's looking at a Misfire Weaver, talking about hitting the air. Ponyback Brigade, probably not what he's looking for. There's cancel. Can't really see anything else that's really good for him, and he goes with the Misfire Weaver.
Yeah, Weaver, really excellent card. Like you said, 3/1, being able to hit flying, I think is actually very powerful in this format because there's so much toughness. And being able to blank one of your opponent removal spells for a very cheap unmorph cost, it's just a solid all-around effect.
All right, so we got a banner. We got a Water World. That's a pretty good card. Set your opponent back a lot of mana for 6 at instant speed. We got a Jeering Instigator. Mystic of the Hidden Way.
And Tuskguard Captain. I like Mystic a lot. I actually might take a Sultai banner here. I think this is kind of one of the decks that you'd be willing to play a banner or two.
Okay.
Just because you need the mana fixing. You have a lot of expensive spells. But Mystic of the Hidden Way, just a great card. And like we said, he needs to figure out how to end the game somehow.
All right, so here's another Green Glow. Maybe this is going to get added to his deck. There's not a lot else going on. Rotted Mastodon.
Yeah.
I mean, I like big butts, but Green Glow is hard to pass.
Yeah, I mean, it's there late in the pack. It's not one of the best removal spells in the format, but it's fine. And I mean, it is exactly on plan. I mean, this is a deck that's going to need to kill like almost everything your opponent casts.
Abomination of Gadul. That's a late card.
It is very late, and I think Abomination is just perfect for this deck. It's a finisher. It lets you get rid of excess lands. You can play it on turn 3 and trade early. I think he's got to be pretty excited about that still being in the pack.
All right, so he's looking at a Gurmag Swiftwing. Not much else going on.
You know, the only thing about Swiftwing that I think is exciting is we know what Yuya drafted, and he has a lot of 2/1s. That card is very good when your opponent is trying to be aggressive with 2/1 creatures. It blocks and kills all of them.
Yeah, so does Monastery Swiftblade.
Yeah, exactly.
Not sure that's why he
Swift
picked
Spear.
it. Swift Spear. Not sure that's why he picked it, but
Yeah.
probably the best card in that pack.
Yeah. Now we're just sort of rounding out the pack here. Again, I mean, it's interesting to me he hasn't taken a banner. Banner, oh, wow, Goblin Slide. It's a card.
Is that one in? Is that one in the deck?
It depends on how many of those finishers that we saw him trying to pick aggressively he has. I really have had great experiences with that card in the 5-color control archetype because you just have so many spells, and you can actually use the tokens to remove smaller creatures that you don't want to spend your removal spells on. So the rate on the card, not great, but it fulfills an important role for this strategy.
Now, I know you say 5-color, you mean solid 3-color with the 4th, but is there opportunity if some great white cards start coming around for Mike Sigrist to maybe delve into white?
Delve into white. I think this is, the reason I keep saying 5-color, even though he's 4-color, is just, the archetype, you kind of think of it as just powerful cards of when you're picking them. I think he definitely doesn't want more than like one white card, but if he opened up a complete bomb of some kind,
how good does that white card have to be in order for it to get go on the deck?
It's got to be like format-defining top 20 card, something like that, I think.
So let's see what we're going to open up in pack 3.
Like I'd play Butcher of the Horde in this deck, for example.
That's a format-defining bomb of a rare right there.
I think you're absolutely right, though, Rashad, that he does not want to move into white if he doesn't have to. I think that, right now he's got an ambitious mana base as it is, and his card quality is already very high. The question is, will he be able to cast these spells?
All right, so we open up a Sultai Soothsayer, and the card's a little bit blurry.
Well,
Whoa.
Zergo Helm Smasher is on the level of the kind of white card that you need. The question is, Sultai Soothsayer is just amazing in this archetype,
and it just fits
too.
right in his deck.
Precisely. It helps with the delve. It finds his mana. It finds his finishers. So, I think Zergo is a better Magic card. I think Soothsayer,
It's perfect for his deck.
Exactly, and it prevents him from having to worry about the going into white decision.
He also passed a Ride Down, another good white card that
Yes.
is going to somebody. It's going to be home somewhere. Both of those cards.
Yeah, I mean, that was a powerful pack of Magic cards. What he needs right now, it's interesting. He has a decent amount of mana fixing. He doesn't have a tri-land. I think he could really
I don't
afford
think we've
one of
seen
those.
any tri-lands.
Yeah, I don't think so. Wow.
Crackling Doom. We have a Long Shot Squad. Another dead drop.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
It's hard to pass dead drop. Bitter Revelation, really, really good. Kind
How
of
many
exactly
dead
what he
drops can a
wants.
deck support? How many dead drops can this deck support so far?
I think at least 2. I'd say 3. I mean, it's expensive, but the thing is, you don't really mind paying 7 mana for that spell. I'm very surprised he's looking at the Long Shot Squad.
Well, maybe he feels he might be a little soft to flyers. Maybe his 4-drops aren't too shored up just yet.
Yeah, maybe so. I mean,
Very solid 4-drop.
It's an excellent 4-drop. It can end the game. It's better, obviously, the more the game's drawn out. I mean, just Dead Drop is an incredible spell. And he's got Soothsayers.
Maybe he gave it a little kiss and he's hoping it tables.
Wow, maybe so.
So he's looking at, okay, he has another Abomination of Gadul, a Blood-Soaked Champion. That would be a weird one for him.
Yeah.
And a Rugged Highlands.
I think you just got to take the Rugged Highlands here. Your mana base is very ambitious. I mean, it's hard for you to beat a Blood-Soaked Champion, which might be why he's looking at it. But, I mean, to me, the land here it's exactly what you're asking for.
Maybe he's thinking about giving his trade binder a little love.
Maybe so. Yeah, so 2 surprising picks of the last, so far this pack. Wow, the Seeker of the Way just so late.
There's a Disowned Ancestors.
Now
Another good card for a deck that needs to buy some time early.
That is awesome. Yeah, I think Disowned Ancestor, if what he wants is more creatures, if he's, Disowned Ancestor plays defense early and can close a game out late. Plus it's base black, which is one of his main colors. So
Yep, but Disowned Ancestor is the pick. So far, how do you like this deck?
I like the deck a lot. I'd like it more if I had a second dead drop.
He may have a chance to have a second dead drop. Right now, we could be going on a cruise.
I like Treasure Cruise a lot. I mean,
Monastery Flock as well.
You see him prioritizing creatures. He obviously, either Bitter Revelation or Treasure Cruise, I think, would be gifts to this deck. I think Flock is just quite a significant drop in power level.
But Flock is basically a removal spell. It's a 0/5 flyer, so there's not a lot that can get through there.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. It deals with most of the flyers in the format. It deals with your early game ground creatures. It can attack for a little bit, but I mean, you do need to be drawing a lot of cards in a deck like this. I mean, Master the Way is a great way to do it.
Master the Way will draw at least 1 card, and there's a little bit of removal. Actually, not a lot else going on, and he just takes the Master the Way.
Yeah, I mean, that is the perfect card for this archetype. Again, he does have a lot of card advantage. I mean, he has double Sultai Soothsayer already. He's got a dead drop already. Right. He's got 2 Masters the Way. So, I mean, it's definitely not impossible for him to gain advantage. He might just be saying, look, all I need to do is survive. The rest of my deck is so good that I'm not worried about it.
Bear's Companion. Snap pick that one.
Yeah, and speaking of card advantage, speaking of powerful spells.
6 power for 5 mana?
Yeah.
I'm in. Another Teamer card. He's been picking those Teamer cards very quickly. Is it because they're definitely going in his deck, or maybe he doesn't want to play against them? Because he has a pretty solid Sultai deck if you just look at the cards he has acquired.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, he's got the red mana fixing is free. I mean, he's already got a lot of it. And he's already got, Winter Flame, a really powerful card. He's got some removal in those colors. I think that it's pretty, I think he's just pretty solidly 4 color.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot of drawback to taking cards that are as powerful as Bear's Companion. That said, I mean, he really needs like 1 to 2 more pieces of mana fixing, I think, for his deck to work out.
Well, he took a Tormented Voice. That could play a little bit of the mana fixing role. Looking at a hooting Mandrills right
Yeah,
now.
I
Not
think
going to
it-
fix his mana, but it's going to fix his opponent's life total.
I'm still surprised we haven't really seen him take a banner. I think this is, again, exactly the kind of deck that could use those. I mean, lets you start firing off Master the Way earlier.
Picking up a lot of late Bitter Revelations.
Yeah, and definitely, like, that's a card. It does everything your deck wants to do. I think you're definitely playing at least one of those.
Right. All right. So while Mike finishes up these last 4 picks, how do you think he drafted his deck? Give him a grade.
I mean, this is a big pick for him.
Okay, we got a big. Let's go back and look to see if he gets a nice teamer charm. Oh, he takes the banner. There you go. I think he heard you.
And that's exactly what I think his deck needed. I think he needed, oh man, Sultai banner too if he wants it. Snowhorn Rider really, really late. I mean,
He's got the second one for his deck.
And one of the ways that you can tell how you drafted in the seat is whether you're getting the cards that you want late. Wow, Jeskai banner also useful if he wanted it. He takes the Krumar instead. I think he drafted very well. I really like his deck. I really like his archetype. His card power is through the roof. I think that extra Rugged Highlands would have been phenomenal for him. I only really disagree with a couple of packs, but I actually think I wouldn't have taken the Monastery Flock, but I think that pick was correct. I think that was an incisive look at what his deck needed to succeed. I give this deck a B+. I know it looks sort of messy, but I think it's really good.
All right, B+. That's from Zach Hill. I'm Rashad Miller, reporting from the Tournament Center.